I'm ready. Hurry!
Okay, let's start.
Move, Rocky, move!
This is going in the video.
Dance!
I hope you know that.
Dance!
I will not dance. Anyway, Mr. Marcel, we start looking out over this beautiful, nice city expanding a couple miles in the plains outside of Valenrun. Behind it to the north is this very large expanse of woodland area. To the south, east, and west are all plains with some hills and paths and farmland and just a nice, calm settlement. Not much really crazy happens here outside of our favorite little character, but I think it's safe to assume that Marcel would probably be in one of his favorite taverns right now, right?
Yep.
Cool. We are going to start through the streets of this city, outside the doors of the Ruby Rum Tavern, a fan favorite of Marcel. And we enter, there's loud music, there's dance, there's people laughing and singing, there's people clanking their tankards together, eating, a couple small fights break out, people might be playing games in the corner. It's a very loud, very fun scene. And we look at one particular character sitting at the bar right now. And instead of me describing, I'll let you describe him, Juan. What does Marcel look like?
He's a 5'10" half-elf with striking silver white hair, piercing blue eyes. Always got a smirk on his face, watching something entertaining. His clothes is somewhat more fancier than what you see around him, but mostly it's kind of a hollow act to make himself look better than everyone else around him in the room. Kind of make himself pop out. Drinking as much as he can, partying as much more as he can, and joking around with everyone around him. Because it's a tavern. Enjoy yourself.
Precisely.
That's what he's doing a lot of.
So as you are sitting there, I'll ask you, instead of just assuming, is Marcel eating, drinking, participating in the song? What's he doing?
He's eating, drinking, joking, and if there's any music coming, you know he's going to say all the wrong lyrics.
For sure. As you're sitting there at your little stool at the bar, you know, occasionally waving down the bartender for another drink or some snacks or anything.
Top me off!
You've got the gold to cover it. We don't need to stress about that, right? You're sitting there, and there's a couple of people to your left and your right, but a not super tall, probably about 5'5" or 5'6", wood elf woman with this long brown hair. She's wearing like these green and brown leathers. Walks up and sort of just like taps on the person beside you's shoulder, and they look, and she motions to the seat without saying anything, and they're just like, get lost. And she just politely taps him on the shoulder again, and then shoves his chest over, and he gets scooted out. She sits in the seat, and he immediately starts to like rile up and say, hey, give me my seat back. Do you respond at all, or are you just watching this happen?
No, he's just picking up his tankard.
You watch as he begins to approach, and she just pulls out a dagger, points it at him. He shuts up immediately. She sit again, waves down to the bartender, and she sits down beside you. She kind of gives you a side eye.
Quite an entrance.
Thanks. It's just what I do. She waves over the bartender. She looks at you and she says, "What's good to drink here?"
Not today's ale, sure, that's for sure. He looks to his person next to him, grabs his mug, gives it to the girl. There you go.
She sniffs it and says, "Oh, phew. I prefer sweeter drinks. You guys, is there meat here? Is the meat any good?"
Hey, is there some meat over here?
The bartender, who's like 5 feet away, she just says, "Yes, there's meat here. We have meat every day, Marcel."
She asked a question. Ugh, people are so rude sometimes, you know?
The wood elf woman beside you sort of calms you down. She says, "Can I get 2 rounds of mead for me and my friend here?" The bartender happily obliges, picking up 2 tankards, filling them, and bringing them over. And she says, right, that'll be 6 silver for the 2. She pulls out a gold piece and just slides it across, and she says, keep the change. I might get another. Who knows?
Oh, now you are starting to be my friend.
She slides the second mug over to you, raises hers, takes a sip. As the bartender leaves, she sort of leans on the bar a little bit and turns to you. And to give you an idea of what she looks like, let me find her picture here. She looks at you, picking up the drink and taking a drink, and she says, so, Marcel, is it? You do this a lot? And she just points back around at the tavern.
Enjoy life? Yeah, that's what I love doing.
Sure, you can call it that. So listen, I'm Professor Ranth. I just got to ask you some questions for the school, obviously, but the biggest thing is I got to check out and make sure that you're not like a liability or a danger or anything. So you seem pretty harmless so far, but if you don't mind answering a couple questions, we could do that here. If you want to step outside where it's a little more quiet, doesn't matter to me.
See all the people around him. Yeah, let's step outside. A little more quiet. I like a little more intimate. You agree?
Maybe not that word, but sure. She finishes her drink, scoots it back, and hops off the bar stool and begins to walk out, just assuming you're following.
Yep.
You guys walk outside, and she sort of adjusts her clothes really quick and stretches a little bit. She begins walking down the street with you just a couple feet away from her. She's glancing up at all the buildings, and she says, so, just from that quick little interaction in there, seems like you're a bit of a big shot. What is it, popular party man or royalty?
Well, I'm pretty much of a party man myself. I've been doing this quite a bit since I was little. I always was the center of attention. Heck, back when I was a kid, I remember I got a bunch of guys who didn't really have much with them, and I started kind of a clubhouse. It was good times, and I understood that I'm really good with people. But there's more to that, Especially here, everything's so uptight and by the numbers. In fact, sometimes literally.
Well, I hate to tell you, but you are going to a school, and even though it's a weird school, you are still gonna have to do homework and number stuff. So, you sure you're up for that?
Okay, so it's not optional. Professor.
No,
yeah.
The homework is not optional.
No, I've done some stuff before. Don't worry. I don't like it, but I'll do it.
Sure.
But as long as I'm free, I'm good.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Well, listen, I'll let you start. Just tell me about yourself. Who are you? What do you do? What do you like to do in your free time other than, drink and party? What are you good at? What are you bad at? Everything.
Let's start with what I'm bad at, because honestly, structure, organization, homework, classwork, studying, pretty much the whole school curriculum. But what I'm good at, let me press with this. What I'm good at is leadership. I'm always good at that. Being a team player as well. Don't worry, I won't just hog out all the spotlight. I'll let the other people help as well because we're all a team. I am actually quite proficient in combat myself, and I got myself a pretty nifty sword right here.
Did you just carry that thing around with you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people try to start some stuff here and there, but once they take a look at Jock, they walk away.
Yeah.
I call it Jock.
All right, yeah. I think that answers a lot of my questions, the fact that you named your sword. She pulls out a notepad and writes a couple things on it really quick, puts it back in her pocket, and she says, well, yeah, let's get down to business. The basic question, why Ura Lumis? A lot of places you could go. Better places for combat training, probably.
That's a good question. Honestly, just the story behind it, I guess. There were so many people who heroes came out of that place. And heck, heroes go to that place. Am I correct? That's what I heard from someone.
You're not wrong. There are some incredibly talented people who walk those halls.
Yeah, and I want to be one of those. I'm okay with going outside my comfort zone and become something like that. I'll work hard for it too. Don't worry.
Sure. All right.
I just
hero in the making. I guess that's fitting for the setting. Let's move right along. What program do you think you'll be a part of?
Programs? Sorry, I wasn't given a whole schedule on all this stuff, but maybe something to use swords. I can use swords. I can use a little bit of magic.
Swords. Okay. Well,
I got
here. Listen, I gotta. She ruffles around in her satchel for a second and pulls out like a piece of paper for you, folded in half. She hands it to you and she says, "Read through that really quick. Whatever is the most fitting, pick that. Obviously, you have some choice in what you want to do, but some of these things are based on like natural occurrences, like sorcerers, for example. They don't choose magic, they're born with it. So if you were born with magic, you go into the sorcerer program. And you're still free to make some choices after that, but this will at least get us a good starting point. So read that, let me know what you think."
Yeah,
you
okay.
unfold it and you look through the different D&D classes of like, there's fighters who train with weapons of all sorts. There's the barbarians who are proficient in combat but less technical, more like beefy and strong. You look down through the list. Yeah, I mean, it is pretty enticing. The thing that sticks out to you is the warlock section that says pretty much along the lines of, I don't know where I got my magic, but I got it and now I'm working with it. And there's a couple bullet points and the other ones are like, you know, I made a deal for my magic, someone gave me powers, etc., etc. You look through and you're like, I don't fit with wizard, I don't fit with sorcerer. Fighter sounds nice. Warlock, it mentions some, you know, weapon combat in there, and the magic part, that actually fits with what you're experiencing at the moment.
Ugh. I feel sorry for the people who go out of their way to get wizardry. Just more homework. I'll take warlock. Warlock actually more up my alley.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, interesting. Not many warlock students, but, you know, I guess that comes with the territory.
Call me special.
I mean, do you already have a sort of... I'm not 100% proficient with warlock stuff, but I do know that they have a patron. Like, they get their magic from somewhere. Are you already a part of that? You already getting magic from...
Pulls out his sword, Jock, points to the sky, fires an Eldritch Blast.
Cool. Wow. Malik is gonna have a field day with this. Sure, yeah. Sounds like you're a warlock. I think that's gonna do you just fine.
Yeah.
Next thing, and she sort of stops and crosses her arm and looks at you, raising an eyebrow, and she says, "Are you sure you can live at the school and travel around adventuring as a prince?"
Yeah, definitely.
I know you said that you were just a party man earlier, but, you know, we do get the basic information on students, and based off of your everything, it's kind of obvious.
Yeah, it's not like my dad actually hid that name, huh?
But is there going to be any issues with the family if you're traveling to different parts of the world and different forms of danger?
Oh no, I'm practically disowned. Honestly, they didn't want me in this your place. They want to be some other more stuffier areas. I hated this that, but yeah, Ura Lumis seems more like up my alley. And don't worry, I won't ask for any princely prestige or anything like that. In fact, I wanted kind of maybe a little off the record.
Yeah, I mean, the school, I'll be honest, both for good and for bad, they don't care about where you came from. You could be from the council of Valenrun, and they will treat you equal just as any other person. But on the same side of that, you could be a beggar off the street, and if you go to Ura Lumis, you're all equal. So that's not going to be an issue. Just as long as your parents don't, have some sort of battalion of guards come try to steal you away from the school. That would be not good.
Nah, you guys are fine.
She continues eyeing you up and down, clearly like scanning you for something and just letting there be a moment of silence, which might make you a little uncomfortable, being a talkative person, but she's just kind of being patient and eyeing you for a minute.
Like what you see?
No, that... Calm down.
Give it a shot.
A little too old for you, kid. And in a couple weeks, I'm going to be pretty much your boss. So that's not going to happen. So listen, I know you were a prince, but that's kind of all I was given to work with here. You said you were practically disowned by your family. You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah. I'm a half-elf, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Not going to hide it. Yeah, my brother, he's pure high elf, and my sisters are pure high elves. My parents are pure high elves. Somewhere down the family tree, someone messed up. And lo and behold, I got that. So I became a high elf, a half elf. And as funny it is, it kind of ruffled a lot of feathers. I was kind of groomed to be the leader. I'm next in line. In fact, this hair, my white hair, is kind of a sign of a great lineage. It's actually, a lot of people thought this means a great sign of hope, but coming from a half-elf, it became sacrilege. And now there's kind of this whole confusion going on, which meant I have a lot of enemies and very few friends to count on. So that's why I'm okay leaving here. I just getting too entangled with politics.
She takes a deep breath, taking this all in, and shakes her head a little bit. She says, "Yeah, what a story." Well, I don't think the school's gonna make any issue of it. Should be fine on that end.
You guys, I doubt it. No one cares, but it's just reason why I don't want to stay.
Yeah, I think as long as you're prepared for it, this doesn't sound too bad. Just so you know, Ura Lumis is going to be a lot more work than being a prince would ever have to be. You're not just going to be able to delegate
You have
responsibilities.
no idea what a prince of Terra Weight is.
No, I
You have
don't.
no idea what work of Terra Weight is when you're a prince. So believe me, whatever you throw at me will never be as bad as being a prince for Terra's Weight.
She sort of
trust me, I'm good.
She like clicks her tongue and does that sort of like half frown, half smile thing, and she says, I mean, it looks to me like the work of Terra's Weight includes tavern parties and drinking. But again, I don't know your life, and I'm not asking to. I'm just saying that Ura Lumis is fun. It's amazing, but it's also a lot of work. And if you don't do that work, you're not going to be there for long. And if you fail,
Again,
you get sent right back home. And it sounds like that's not somewhere that you want to be at right now.
rather be in a coffin than back here.
Well, let's hope you do well at school. She
Thanks.
reaches her hand out to shake yours. You guys shake hands. And she says, well, kid, it's nice to meet you. I hope you don't change your mind in the next couple days. I'll see you on the 10th.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll be there.
She begins walking away, and you watch as she pulls it looks like a rock out of her pocket. She crushes it, sort of spreads the dust. You can't really see the front side of her, but she crushes it, and you see her do a motion with her hand, and then her body just dematerializes and is gone in a couple of seconds.
Well, I wasn't looking at the front. But
and with that, she is gone.
back to tavern.
And Marcel is left to go back to the tavern and continue his nightly revelry.
Whoa, who's ready for round 2? Yeah.
That's staying in.